And a very good evening, everybody. I'm Jon Cole. We hope you had a great weekend.
For over 4 decades, this has been the voice of sports in northwestern North Dakota. Jon Cole has been the sports director at KUMV-TV in Williston since 1981.
To me, he's the ultimate supporter of everybody, every athlete, every coach. He's just given us so much love and support, the activities and the programs.
It doesn't matter if you're Williston, if you're northwest North Dakota, he's covering it. If it's northeast Montana, he's covering it. He's not only endeared himself to us, he's endeared himself to the whole region.
But this is far from where Jon's story began. He grew up 60 miles south of Boston, where his passion for sports ignited.
In that region, growing up reading the Boston Globe, watching the Red Sox on television and radio, it's a part of your life. Junior high, I'd go down and do play-by-play into my tape recorder. So if I couldn't play, I wanted to have a fun job and stick with it. And I've been able to do it for 40 years. That's how it all started.
He attended C.W. Post College, now called Long Island University, graduating in 1980. He thought he had his first job all lined up in a different North Dakota city.
I get a call from the CBS affiliate in Bismarck, North Dakota. They say to me, you know, there's a Bostonian who's on the air out here, and we like your tape, and we think we could, you could give him some competition, Ron Chickens, KFYR television. So I was very, very happy. So they call me up, the news director calls me up, a guy by the name of Bob Sherwood, and says, hey, you know what, we're gonna hire you. The next day, I get a phone call from the general manager, a man by the name of Wrighton, who tells me, we're not gonna hire you, you're a kid from the East Coast, you'll never be happy, you won't be here very long.
So instead, Jon worked an overnight part-time shift at a radio station close to home for a while, before he got some advice from a sibling.
So my twin brother, who at the time was working for a news bureau in Maryland, said to me, you know, I've heard of guys who just jump on a bus. So that's what I did. I bought a See America Greyhound pass, started out in Providence, Rhode Island, which is about 20 minutes from my house, staying in cheap hotels. I mean, I watched my money.
Over a 30-day span, he focused his efforts in the Midwest, making stop after stop at various stations in Minneapolis, Duluth, Fargo, Bismarck, and Minot.
It sounds like the beginning of a movie, of a made-believe movie. But it's not. It's true. It's accurate. He took the bus. He got off the bus in Bismarck, and didn't have an appointment. Showed up, had his suitcase of tapes or whatever all the tapes were in.
So I came to Williston, and this is during the second oil boom. They said, you know what? We think we could use you. So I continued on my trip. I went all the way to Salt Lake City, stopped in a few places in Montana, came back. I was home about a day. KUMV-TV called me up, and off I came. The encyclopedia said a land of extreme, and that's exactly right. We get hot weather, we get cold weather. So I knew they had a great sports background, and UND had won their national championships in Providence, which is a stone's throw from my house.
Hit a couple of big foul shots and knocked the ball away. How you feeling right now? I feel great.
Jon's East Coast accent is recognizable just about everywhere he goes.
You guys battled through some foul problems, but you hung in there and you're state champions now.
Yeah, it's awesome.
His style is distinctive, his energy unmatched.
You gave him a battle tonight, no question about that.
Yeah, there's no question. That was a great game.
I think it goes back to good people, and obviously statewide television, on statewide television for a long, long time. The State B, no bigger event than that.
Guys, let's get it going. Let's make some memories, fellas.
When it was his turn to go, he'd put his hand usually on the subject and fire the questions until our producer told him to wrap up. But yeah, Jon's style is unique. It's him. He's not copying anybody, that's for darn sure.
All right, good luck to you. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, Brian, over to you somewhere.
Now, Jon admits there were times he explored some job options back east, but Williston really grew on him.
A lot of great memories, a lot of great people.
And he grew on them, too.
Jon has the highest name recognition survey ever done by this consulting firm, meaning more people in KUMV's coverage area know who Jon Cole is than any other place in the country at this point since research was done. crazy.
I was a young middle schooler, and I went in to ask him if we could get some coverage for my middle school coach, and he was like, absolutely. He was more than happy to do it, gave us a great amount of time, asked us awesome questions, and we felt really important. We felt really important after that. It was inspiring.
North Dakotans like people who work hard. And people always say, well, you have time for everybody, but that's the type of person who I hope I am. That's how my parents brought me up.
Jon has been a part of a lot of memorable sports moments in the state and was the first to recognize athletic talent before anyone else.
You know, you feel like you're a proud uncle when you see the Virgil Hills become world champs. You know, you were there when nobody else was there. No, I wasn't there in 1987 when he knocked out Leslie Stewart and became the WBA light heavyweight champ. But boy, I covered them all through amateur boxing.
Guy might have one of the largest archives of clips that you'll find anywhere of local sports. He can find stuff back from 1984 when Virgil Hill was fighting in a fight here. He still got it on file somewhere.
You just see him take that step, and that's why it's a fun business. I'm sure you feel the same way. Kid who you cover, and all of a sudden you're watching him play for the Bison, or you're watching him play for Nebraska, or on the local level at Teton or Dickinson State. Those kids work hard.
When Williston built its new high school, there was a strong push to name the gymnasium after one of their own, and Jon Cole's name was at the top of the list.
I was contacted by a city commissioner, and they were like, hey, could you write a letter for the new gym at the new high school to be named Jon Cole Gymnasium? And I was like, absolutely. They were like, all we need is a couple paragraphs, and I think I wrote 3 pages of a document on why I want him to be, for this gym should be named after him.
Congratulations,
It's phenomenal that a community is embracing a guy who's on the 6 and 10 News for that long to put his name on their building forever.
To be at an event that I'm covering, I still cover stuff. And good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Jon Cole Gymnasium. And coach after coach after coach come up to me and say, hey, congratulations, man, you deserve it.
How many sportscasters can you think of that have a facility like a high school gymnasium named after him? You know, there's not that many. He's been just a rock-solid supporter of Williston.
Now in his 60s, Jon has shown no signs of slowing down. But if he ever does, the community will be there to keep him going.
If I hear a rumor of him trying to retire, I'm like, come on, man, give us one more year, because he does such a great job. We'll miss him dearly when that time comes.
And, you know, it makes you feel great when people stop you and say, hey, thank you for your efforts, and, you know, send you notes or emails. They're not all going to love you. You just do the best you can. You know, that's how it goes. I mean, look at me. I got hired off of a bus, and if I keedle over tomorrow, I got a gym named after me. So you go out and, you know, you make your story. That's my story. So I don't want it to be over, that's for sure. I tell people, hey, you know, keep going, keep getting after it.
Jon also talked about some of the difficult times during his career as well, which included delivering the eulogy at the funeral for Tyler Jangula, a former Williston and North Dakota State football standout who passed away at only 28 years old. Now, his twin brother Jeff, that encouraged him to get on that bus to head west, is also an accomplished journalist as one of the most respected investigative reporters in Philadelphia. He was in attendance when the gymnasium was dedicated to Jon back in 2016.
This has been Midco Sports Magazine, presented by Build Your Base with Beef Sports Nutrition and Training Program.